Welcome to the service clinic at Low Country Harley-Davidson. I'm Doc Harley. Several times we've talked about how important it is to do an oil change. And many of you out there are doing it yourself. Fantastic. Well, there's that long period of time when you're draining the oil, waiting for the oil to drain, and you have nothing to do until it's done. Well, here's an added tech tip for you. Doing your own oil and draining the oil, you can look at something that will help you know the condition of some of the parts of your motorcycle. Let me explain. Now, we've taken this motorcycle, gone around the block a couple of times, got the oil all hot, so let's be careful about the exhaust system. On this motorcycle, an FLHX, the oil drain is, of course, down low in front of the oil pan. Takes a 5-inch wrench. All right, so let's go down and I'll show you what I'm going to talk about today. All right, I've loosened this a little bit. Now, when I take the oil plug out, you see how the oil kind of just slowly comes out. There's a reason for that. Now, you can just let it do that all the time and it will breathe. Now, watch, keep your eye on the oil. When I loosen the oil inlet where we pour the oil into, look at that. Oil comes out at a very long rate. Here's the reasoning and here's the tech tip to keep your eye on. Let me explain up here. Your motorcycle breathes, all right? It breathes through the outside and it breathes back and forth between the motor and the oil tank, okay? Now it breathes through the air cleaner. Your air filter has these two rubber hoses and it's connected to each head. Inside the head is the important part to look. Inside the head are oil separator, breathers I call them. And they're made with a rubber flapper, all right? And what this does is allow the air to go through and come out through this little sponge area and through here into your air filter. And what you get is a little mist, but mostly just air. It separates the oil and air. The oil goes back down into the engine and back to the oil pan. Now, when these start getting old and start losing their elasticity and keeping a tight fit, well, now this breathes all the time air and oil. And some of you might have found a lot of oil in your air cleaner. That's one indication that these are going bad. The other indication is when you undo your oil drain and you let it come out, if it comes rushing out, that means these are not working. The air is rushing in. The same thing as in taking the inlet of the oil tank and undoing it. What this is letting all the air in to the motor and letting your oil drain. These are an indication when they get weak that this is not working. So when you're changing your oil, look a little bit. You're adding to knowing your motorcycle. When you drain your oil, take the plug out and look. Don't let your cap come out yet. One, it helps not the oil come on your hands real quick and burn you, but watch it come out. Does it come out in a dribble, in a small stream? If it does, your breathers are working. Then get your hand out of the way, undo your inlet, and let it all drain out. Let it drain for a long time till you get a little dribble. Put a little Teflon on your plug, put it back in, or a new O-ring also. Put it back together, and you've done two things. You've changed your oil and kept your motorcycle going, but you've also kept an eye on your oil breathers. Just a little added tech tip from Low Country Harley-Davidson. I'm Doc Harley. We'll see you next week.